I can see the shore from here as we touch off the signal flare to let them know we're coming into port, infidels. Early morning, Friday locker room, ultra declassified kayfabe version, back in the saddle with my tag team partner, Big Stevie Cool Zen. Zen, 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 zen. You shot your bullet, but the bullet went. Desperado, new word for rude boy. Stevie pulls out his gun and plugs through like true goy. And here we're about to do it today, infidels. It's your Friday locker room shoot on all the stupid news that we got to cover while everything falls down around us here at hackerhamin.podbean.com. Yalla! Man, Broster's coffee kicking in early this morning, Stevie. I got a little sleep finally, but I'm sure you were up 3 workouts deep already, 8 a.m. How you doing this morning, bud?
Doing good, doing good. We finally catch our second wind after a lot of publicized content and a lot of non-publicized content of meetings and calls and things like that. Tuesday to Wednesday feels like it. I don't know if I'm going to make it. And that's after watching 5 hours of wrestling, which starts you off what I think in the negative. And then Thursday morning when we're recording this, we feel like we caught our second wind.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about, for me, that Monday through Thursday production day are just 16 to 18-hour days. That's just what I resigned myself to from 6:30 in the morning till midnight. I'm going, bro, and that's just it. And I've been able to catch a little cat nap because my sleep in between has been the shits, but finally feel a little bit recharged today. I definitely got to get a solid workout in because on camera they could tell you I've been eating like shit, frozen pizza and everything else, Stevie. So I got to really.
Well, those watch-alongs will do it, won't they? When you're sitting there watching wrestling, you got to occupy yourself with something that you can control.
I can't get too liquored up because I'll start saying crazy shit. So oatmeal cookie or some dumb shit that I bought just to get my sugar fixed, but that means I got to work twice as hard, and I slacked the last 48 hours because of those productions. Like every time I wanted to go, all right, I got an hour to get a good workout in, boom, like phone rings, world explodes, meeting. Like that happened 4 times in the last 48 hours, for which I love it. I love that kind of shit, like, because that's the excitement of being a businessman in this world, and like every day one of those lines hit that you have in the water is, as you're fishing for leads or closing deals or getting closer on something bigger. That shit is just awesome to me. How the creation of new opportunity to do creative things and earn a living. That's phenomenal. I've been really sitting back. I don't know. This might be weird. Forgive me if I'm going off a little bit here, but I've been sitting back, obviously, in what we're doing now, and so happy. Not that we're rich and loaded and whatever, and we've lost plenty of money during the pandemic, but it's starting to rebuild now, and I see it, and I can get there again, and even higher than where we were. And then I also look at as a 30-year conspiracy theorist, truther, alternative news expert. Like everything that's kind of fallen down around us are going hardcore. Like, I remember thinking back to like 95, 2000, seeing this way ahead of time, you know what I mean? Of like, wait till it gets to that point sometime, then they'll fucking listen to me. Like, so that's going on at the same time. I get to live my dream working with ECW guys that I fucking marked out for and was part of the show, and I trained my ass off to become the next Vince Russo. Well, not only am I close to that, I get to work with him every day, and I just got a super hot wife, dogs of war. Like, things aren't way living in mansions like P. Diddy or anything like that shit yet, but it's pretty damn rewarding after 30 years of living life of a vagabond artist to learn my craft and cut my teeth and get the mentors that I want to, and now to be able to swing swords with the best of them, man, and earn a modest living at it is not lost on me. I'm very grateful for that, and whatever religious side you want to take it to on your way, I know you have the same feelings, and you just may label it a different way, but I took a moment this week, and I was just like, after some of these big bombshell meetings, I hang up the phone. I'm just like, I'm just like, what is this world? I trained for this at OVW to do the political side, to swing swords, to be able to make these moves, and now I'm doing it at the highest level, and it's just like, it's crazy how it kind of happened in such a rapid pace. It took like 3 years it really started to come together, but it took 27 before that. So.
Well, let's first of all, I'm so proud of you and what you do for Hamin Media Group, what you do for the brand with Russo, what you do for everybody that you surround. You make everybody a lot better. You raise everybody up rather than most of the people in this world try to keep others down. Let's get that out of the way, and let's remove the modest word from living, because think about it. Even in today's age of where we were ahead of the curve and people are starting to catch up with digital content creation, virtual stuff, virtual businesses, online businesses, to make a living, to be above the break-even point, to be able to make money at this, to be able to monetize it, even though back when I started my first podcast with the tech stuff in January 2007, it wasn't even a thing. It was just looked at like a hobby. And I even think when we started when we came on and we did our thing, even before the Horsemen and then it turned into the Conspiracy Horsemen, it was still technically a hobby, even though you and I really saw that, okay, there's got to be, we're looking for the spot that doesn't exist yet. Right. There's got to be the spot. And now it's like things people know about than things we're doing on the back end. And you're piecing together a living. Like I'm doing my taxes right now because my accountant flaked out for some reason. That's a whole nother story. But I'm looking at what I made, and, I did spend because we're both independent businessmen. We're both independent contractors. We've never, off and on we've had some, but most of our lives, we've been responsible as an accountant, a travel agent, or personal trainer, whatever it might be, all wrapped into one. And I looked and I was like, because I lived the same way. Like when I was in WWE, I lived like, man, after they fired me, because they fire everybody, I'm going to have to work at Walmart, and I got to live like I'm going to work at Walmart. So I got to live within my means. I got to do all that stuff. And that foundation, now looking at what we made an income, piecing it together, I'm like, oh my God, this is like actually more than a regular job when you think about all the hours and the headaches and the fact that when the pandemic hit, we were still rolling. We weren't losing money. We lost profit, but we weren't like other people who were 2, 3, now 4 months behind in their rent and mortgage. Think about that.
We have the opportunity to pivot too, like the opportunity to get to work with Goldilocks brand and, take a small percentage as being an advisor, consultant, helping all. Like, that's awesome to me, because there's people who want to get it, and they will. And like people like her, she's now a beast of an executive producer. Like, you just have to name it, and like now she's off and she owns it. You know what I mean? So I just have to check in and keep her motivated. And if she needs help while she's on the road with upload and all that, that's what Hamin Media staff is here for as well. But like, that's one example of who's hungry to go do some stuff. You know what I mean? A bunch of people we've been able to partner up with. Like you yesterday, Test and Switcher Studio was awesome, man.
I wouldn't go that far. We got a lot of mistakes, but it was.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's like, who is everybody out there else using Switcher Studio? No, we have the exclusive. They trust us. They know what it's going to be used for. We're going to push its limits. We're going to give them real feedback, and then it's going to get fixed. And then we're going to take it once it's how it should be and apply it and have everyone going, wow, and then could rock the industry based on how we use it. So those are the opportunities where I'm like, dude, this is fucking great. I just love it. That mic you're talking into right now is because you did an hour video with Russo to help him set up. That shit is awesome to me, man.
Oh, I appreciate that. And this is where, if it's a message for anybody out there, and we have people that are in the queue in the Hamin Media Group. You're talking about Matt, you're talking about Ted, you're talking about I always say his name wrong.
El Plaza.
You're talking about, and I thought Big Ray. Everybody has a particular spot to not only earn their stripes within here, but get valuable, indispensable knowledge from others. I wish people would reach out to me more from the group or from the production thing. I would be, because I'm watching what they did.
I don't know. Last time somebody reached out to you, it didn't work out too well.
Yeah, that's right. Well, don't go 10 or 12 deep in and then message me. I still feel bad about that in a way because
Dude,
it
that
was
just
brutal.
popped me. That was like fucking set that one up. I can't let that
Yeah.
one fucking go by, bro. Step into it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm supposedly some sort of video editing expert. I create content. I do all these things. I have my lanes of workflow that I work within on Final Cut Pro or LumaFusion, or you said Switcher Studio. Then I started seeing El Plaja putting out like those Instagram things with the really done up right with the edits and everything. And I'm like, how are they putting that up? So I asked you, and then I asked him. I didn't know about InShot. I didn't know that. I was like, oh, that's cool. So then I started putting up. So there's stuff even like people think we know everything or we have it all down. When we see someone doing something that's interesting or good, we're going to reach out and try to seek that knowledge and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, just kind of steal it and apply it into our own brands. Just a message for everybody else out there. If anybody we're in a business. We were in a business. I don't consider us to really be full-time in the wrestling business anymore. We're in a business where the saying is what? Waiting for the call. Waiting for the call is the laziest, most excuse-ridden thing for not getting an opportunity because I did it myself. I wasted a lot of time, but now I don't wait for the call. I either make the call or say, okay, the person I was calling, how can I do it and do it better than them and monetize it better than them, since they won't want to work together? Like you said, some people get it with the Patreon stuff for the Hamin Media Consulting. If they don't get it, see ya. We got too much to do.
Yeah, dude. I was there. Like if Ryback wanted to, I got no heat with him or anything like that. He's a guy who's a really mastered production and what he wants to do, and he's been business minded since I fucking knew him, bro. Like since we first met 15 years ago, like that guy was about doing business. So there's things I can offer some people, and Stevie Ray just needed the hookup. I'm not going to go in and take a percentage if he doesn't need the consultant. I'll check in with him, you know what I mean? But like there's some people who have a good vision of what they want to do, and Goldie does too. But I could easily expand Ryback's stuff out. I could make Stevie Ray into something not that they're lazy. I'm not saying that by any means. It's just they know what they want to do. And then there's other people who want to use that momentum and see what using group and following can actually bring you. And we appreciate all the new signups at patreon.com/Goldilocks. So she's working her ass off to do stuff that looks as good, if not better, than E! Online.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Well, it's a couple days. It's like one full day, and since July 1st, that's when she started it, right? What are the numbers right now? Is it looking good?
Yeah, she's just was pumped. She opened up like 2 days beforehand. But I haven't checked in on the back end, but I know some brand loyalists have read already, and she's just so excited about it. So there's different tiers depending on what you're into. If you just want daily comedy and all that, and then there's obviously she plays up the sexy stuff with Tub Talk on another tier, and where there's more adult fun conversations and funny stuff. And then there's like a dating show. She's got her bandmates in it, another son of a bitch with beautiful hair like yours. So it's not just for dudes on the sexy stuff. There's going to be rock guys and things like that. And it's actually a dating show, Locks of Love, that they're producing weekly for like online Zoom dates and things like that. So it should be pretty cool, game show wise and all that she's going to host. And she's got a big green screen set up, so she switches sets. Everything just looks so produced and so awesome, man. It's because she does the research. She goes, who are the top Patreon earners? She outlines 4 or 5. That's what I told her. I go, look who's the best. She goes and does it. There's the top 5. She looks at them. This is what they're doing. This is the bar where it's set. I'm going to hit that or exceed it for my own. It takes a lot of work. I got to get all this. Matt Schaffer pulls all these clips for her. We got to do the inverse and speed up for YouTube so it fucks with the algorithm just so we can use all the things it takes to be a fucking pirate producer. She is doing. She's putting in the work, not just going, I'm going to get a photo shoot 8x10 and use my Adam and Eve 50% off code. No, dude, she's got her own website, whole brands that support all of her, abuse of campaign charities and things like that. Like everything's mixed in. And then there's people who want contact with her. So she even has the digital friend check-in level where you can have that Cameo level on this with a Zoom call. So she's knocking out of the park, man. She's gonna set the bar for other people in wrestling. Going, shit, if she's making money, I want to make money. Oh fuck, it's gonna take that much work. Like that's where
never
she's
got a
at.
Fake push. So what does she know?
Yeah, right. Right. Exactly. She's been so close. She's been in all the production meetings we have where they promise it and you're exactly what we want, and then taken away. She's been through all that shit, so that's why she knows what it takes. Now that you have ownership and the ability to make money, it takes that level of work. But now you don't have to jump through nobody's hoop telling you can or can't do it. Now,
and that's going back to you about the income,
yes.
the modest living. It's completely 100% you that nobody can take away from. You have the connection to the client, the customer, the consumer, the fan, whatever it might be. And Bruce or Deuce or Vince or a writer or an agent can't get in your way and control your income or lack thereof to where you're not booked. You're sitting at home. Nothing creative has nothing for you. You're your own creative. Goldilocks is her own creative. I'm my own creative, all around. I've actually, I kind of paused my Patreon for now because people are being very kind and still sticking to it for here. But I really want to kind of retool it and try to think of something to do with it. The weekly yoga workouts were good, but it was hard to do in the pool area, especially now since they might shut it down any day again with the pandemic. The pool area in my complex was a nice setting to do it in, and I could set up a few cameras. But I was trying to think of content along the lines of this or some kind of other thing with the I even want to do the 80s love song station still. I'd have to pay Live 365 for that, for the live. It includes the licensing. It's about $59 a month, but I think it might be something to look at. That way I don't have to worry about audio or video somewhere. It could be video on Patreon, and then just audio straight up.
Not having to worry about video would be big for you. That'd be awesome.
I have so much trouble. My thing that Vince always told me is never look in the camera. So I'm always like never looking. That's still stuck with me after all these years.
My camera's right here, so I look in you're on the monitor behind it, so I look past the camera always.
I got the iMac was extra up, and then I got the DSLR that's blurry now. There we go. All right. All right.
Shit. Big shout out to the chat room this morning here at twitch.tv. Triple D with the bits. Appreciate you, man. Over there, I just shot some video on Tuesday. I got to edit later today. We was making strawberry cream donuts, and also, dude, it smelled so good when they were pulling them out of there, just like I guess fried strawberries, kind of. It was good. But then he made birthday cake ones too, so just going crazy with the donut flavors over there. Some Punk with the bits. See you guys all in there. P-Mac, who else in here? JVD says 5:30 in the morning. Holy shit, Briz. But we're east side till we die over here. So appreciate the West checking in. Zanilli doing SIU wants SRF yoga. Wants it, and I agree. As Cam Newton's ready to rock this morning on the Friday locker room. It was a good night last night at Conspiracy Horseman Land. We got more already to cover for next week and things we didn't even get.
There is a next week, like you said.
If there is a next week. So, what else? Anything from last night you want to rehash before we have to get to the shitty headlines?
I just think it's a matter of, like you just said, all the stuff you're talking about in the opening, which was amazing. I think the number one word that people need to really attach their thought process to is perspective. People need more perspective on what's going on and maybe take a step back and go, am I being manipulated in any way? Is this whole thing, it's not conspiracy. It's like, is this what people want? Is somebody sitting there? We're used to dealing with wrestling promoters that would be the puppeteers and really like to stir up trouble in the locker room because that's their entertainment. Maybe people that's missing from people because we saw it so many years in a business where they just love to like twist people up and get people riled up and watch the fallout from it. That's the only thing is I would just say, people are too busy picking a side. People are afraid to be wrong. People don't, if their voting is something that's legitimate, why are you wasting a vote if you really do believe in somebody like the third party candidate? And there should be more than three parties. So this whole thing about well, I hate Trump, so I'm going to vote for Biden. Yeah, he's the lesser of two evils. Just like in 2016, the whole lesser of two evils stuff. It's still evil. You're no better. You're no better for voting for a less evil when you're still voting for evil. What if you said, "Hey, well, this one person that I want to babysit my kids, well, he molests and murders children, but the other one only molests them, so he's less evil. So that's the babysitter I'm picking." When you think about it that way, they're both fucking evil. It's wrong is wrong.
Yeah, 100%, man. That was a big thing in that they tried to slam him. We'll get to it next week on the Tom Hanks bit shoot video, but they were like showing, they go right to like, you know, the quick cuts at the end where it's going hardcore on all the evidence or what they see, and they go to the FBI fucking pedo thing and they show the symbols, you know, the circle, and it links up to the SRC USA thing that we'll talk about next week.
Was that the one that was in the restaurant that Obama was eating at and was up on the wall?
Yes, and the BH kids, and then they cut to the Pope and like and all the guys. Dude, he's got it on his fucking, it's like sewn, embroidered in, it's sewn on their hats, like same fucking. But theirs is more of a pyramid, geometric shape. But
why does any pyramid exist in the Catholic religion when it's based on Egyptian? And why is that pyramid? I mean, that's something
it's
like
supposed to be confirmed boy lover. That's what it says in the FBI thing for that symbol, like for pedo boy love. That's what that.
But does that mean that it has Egyptian origins of this type of? Maybe there's we don't know. See, we need.
Do you know any Catholic? Do you know any Catholic Shriners? I guess that'd be my next question. Like, who
know any? Yeah. Well, we both know a Mason that used to be in Louisville, so we can ask him. What I'm saying is that we need to ask these questions now because history is quickly being erased. The scrub, the apocalypse, all these now physical statues and monuments and probably records are going to start getting destroyed, whether from outside sources like protesters or rioters or from the inside before the dominoes fall to the Vatican or the pyramids. I've just always been interested because we have it on our currency here. We have pyramids. So something so far away in Egyptian history is just ingrained. And now you look at the Pizzagate pedophilia and all this stuff connected, and that pyramid, Pizzagate was a pyramid too. You look at these symbols that are based in Egyptian history. I just put that
George
connection
Washington,
there like
George
now.
Washington's,
it's interesting.
George Washington's Freemason apron has it on there too in the painting.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now you connect it to the Freemasons, the same shape, symbol, upside down, side up. It's still.
But there's also the one conspiracy, and that this would be a great episode for our show when we get it and sitting on it, giving it away here. That nobody has really done the deep dive into is that Grand Canyon Egyptian connection. That there's supposedly treasure in the Grand Canyon that is in the caves that was found, and then they couldn't find their way back once it was found in the 1800s. I
never heard of that.
Oh,
wow.
You never heard this?
Oh, the Grand Canyon's connected to the pyramid?
You might have been off that show. Yeah, there's supposed treasure hunters in the, like, there was something I can't remember how they figured it out or what it was in the 1800s that found this treasure. And it was all Egyptian and like gold relics in deep in caves, and even some native stuff in there too mixed in with it, and 2,000, 3,000 years old supposedly, and then just no, like, only now it's just legend and lore. So like,
more importantly, how's my microphone sound?
Sounds very clear up high, higher register. But I think like pharaoh statues and things like that in there. So interesting. We'll look more into it, but I think isn't that the history we talked about it on the show before? Why is history so static and stagnant, and we think we've learned everything? This is the stuff we should be protesting. That we want the knowledge
that has been that why are we being taught this in schools?
Why aren't we going to surround the Smithsonian Institute and hold them hostage until we get the truth on why they're smashing giant skulls and getting rid of that kind of shit, man? You only got to smash like 2 scientists' toes to oblivion with a hammer in front of the rest of them, and they'll start talking. I'm telling you, they will. It won't take much.
You speak from experience?
Well, you just take an 8-pound sledge. You don't got to like take it all out and just whack them on the end of the foot with it. And when they start screaming, the rest of them are like, oh boy, who's next? Who doesn't want to talk?
Is that more torturous, or is making them watch 5 hours of wrestling?
I think instead of like sending them to the hospital or anything, while their foot is broken, they have to go over there and watch Raw and SmackDown.
Nice.
And then you come over and you're like, you want me to hit the other foot? They're like, you can hit my foot all you want, just don't make me do that again. Don't make me watch that shit.
Yeah.
And they'll talk. But we're about to do the talk here, unfortunately. Lots of headlines to get to from ProWrestling.com and Wrestle Stink, where I don't know, some people still have a job. Let's see here, Stevie. Are you ready?
No, as usual.
Oh, boys. Wrestle Inc. actually popped me because of some reason they have their scrolling turned off, so you can only go to like 5 headlines. Good job over there, guys. That's fine with me. I did pop on this story. Undertaker was on with Corey Graves or whatever. And he was talking about a time when they were doing overseas tour. I feel really low volume right now for some reason as I knock my phone over. Boom. I just wanted to see if anything like this happened to you before. He's talking about when they were, I believe, in UK tour, but they're doing a 6-man to protect guys. So Undertaker's in it, Finlay, Khali, MVP, Batista, Triple H, and Taker. He says he's not positive on all the players, but anyways, he's down in the ring with Khali, and Khali gives him a big chop on the head, and he goes down and sells, and somebody in the corner said something to Khali, so he moves to the corner to sell. I don't know why he would sell to the corner after he gave the chop, but that's Khali's greatness. He stood in the corner for a while, and then he starts backing up, and he backs up right into me. And Taker says, all I wanted to do was just to reach out and remind him that I was there. And I kid you not, all I did was take my fingers like that and squeeze him just on his heel just to let him know so he didn't step on me so he wouldn't trip. I squeezed his heel, and all of a sudden, it was like a giant redwood getting chopped down. He felt like a giant pine tree. I looked over to my corner, and everybody's on the top rope, like covering up, just laughing their asses off. And I'm standing in the ring just looking at my hand like, wow, how come I didn't just discover this years ago? I couldn't figure it out, but he fell, just completely fell, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. Any good ones like that too?
No, Taker always seems to have those guys like Giant Gonzalez and Khali that just seem there's like a comedy of errors.
Yeah.
Where he gets these guys. No, I never had any. I remember something happened in a backstage brawl at Impact, and they made fun of me for it in some YouTube video. But did you ever have like where somebody hit your shin or knee or something, and it's completely numb for hours?
Oh, yeah, dead legs, yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, immediately after that, we shot that almost live. Then we had to run down to the ring, and I'm hopping like a chicken because I can't move one of my legs. And it was just, I didn't want to go down there because I knew it would become some kind of fucking meme or whatever. But no, I never had the, people talk about other people crapping in their pants and doing stuff like that. Nothing that was actually comical. There's been injuries and people like that could have, I mean, he almost like potentially probably almost tore his Achilles just by squeezing his heel.
Yeah.
You got to think about all the weight that Khali has coming down on those feet and the ankle and everything.
I think he just thought like Taker tried to chop his legs out, but Taker
he was selling.
Such a good worker. He's like, Taker touched me. You got to go down. Maybe he was ribbing. Maybe he is that good of a ribber, but that's fucking funny, man.
Oh, I thought he like hit a part that just kind of like made him go numb.
No, he just give him the Iggy. Just give him the Iggy, and he fucking went down so he wouldn't get stepped on by a size 22 or whatever, Good, funny stuff, man. I remember one time at OVW, and I wasn't in this match, but everyone popped massive It was Cade and no, it was Lance Cade, right? Murdoch is his partner, but he was in the main event as the WWE superstar who had come, and in OVW he was way over, dude, way over when he was developmental locally, before he went on the road. It looks like $1 million too. But they used to call him Big Bird for some reason in Louisville, just because it's that Southern shit. Like, once somebody gets a nickname, it sticks to the end of time, and like some old dumb Southern shit. And they're like, Big Bird, like yelling, and he's selling, no. And somebody had brought a stuffed Big Bird, right, in the ring. Maybe he was working MVP, I think. And fucking MVP, like, whoever it was, threw it at him. And he gets all hot and shit, and he picks it up a chair, and he throws it up in the air to drill it back, like hit it like a baseball. Dude, it hits perfectly in the he drills it, and he thinks he's looking to see where it goes. It's sticking right in between the chair. Like things like that you could never do. And then another show, somebody had like this one of those monkey backpack things, the little kid would have. And they threw it, and it like hung perfectly. It looked like a monkey hanging on the ropes like that. I've seen two, like, never could hit that shot in a million years if you tried it, a million tries if you tried it again. Moments. Like once he hit that, it was so legit that he was like, where the hell did it go? And he picks it up and it's looking at him, and he pops for it, dude. It was so perfect in like that one moment in time right there. I don't care if you have WrestleMania moments or whatever. That things like that stick out in people's career, and unfortunately he's gone, but I was glad to get to remember that always as something that was like, oh shit, it was so perfect. It was so perfect,
Well, I'll tell you, that's disappeared from the business too, because you will never be allowed to have that kind of organic, because you've rehearsed it for 5 hours.
Yeah, right.
And it's been so plotty, and there's no natural reaction to anything that's done. It's really something that's missing, and that the people don't understand. Everybody's afraid. I think everybody in wrestling now, because they want to get their shit in, that they're afraid to what we say. It's a saying in wrestling to show, not anymore probably, show your ass. Mm-hmm. Show your vulnerability. Show another side. Show a layer. Don't be so impenetrable. Be vulnerable at times, whether you're a babyface or a heel. Go with the moment. Like you said, if it feels uncomfortable, keep doing it.
Do it more.
They stop immediately if it's uncomfortable, right?
That's where the magic is. That's when you're in the moment of like the safety net is gone. What is going to happen is supposed to happen, and I will accept it. And even if it's thrown and makes me feel uncomfortable, that is a gift, because 2-3 minutes from now, while I don't know why it's here in my universe, it is now a part of the scenario, and it will be used later on at the most crucial moment when things are the strangest or building to something. That original pebble in the pond that sent us in a different direction will be the reason why we are here.
It's too like there was one that I put up on Instagram. I was wrestling Ken Anderson for Wildcat, and we had a hardcore match, and I threw a plastic chair into the ring, and it survived the thing into the ring. I was going to do the drop toe hold spot, and I just went to pick it up and position it, and the plastic came off and the leg stayed there. And I was just there for a good 10, 20 seconds looking, which today's performer will be like, it's taking too long. It's taking too long.
Right.
And I was just standing there, and they went with it. And then what I did, I got another chair. I was supposed to put him into it. Reverse, I take it because I
took too long.
I fucked up. I took too long.
Yeah.
Like that's the psychology that you think of right then and there. You go at the moment. They had a nice, and you know what? That's all people remember, that in the finish.
At that point, it's about the organic. We know wrestling's phony, but he was expecting the chair to break. Now what's he going to do? At that point, if you can't deviate from dude, that's a perfect example. And even this week on Master Shoot Theater, even when you're changing your name because your camera's fucking up, you are laying the foundation of playing the game and seeing the pattern and playing it true. That's starting to become, not that you didn't have that in you before, but that's more high level and polished performer. And this week's Master Shoot, not that I don't feel like I'm in the moment, but there's sometimes where I know where I'm going into it. I feel it's almost like a force field around me where you're a little swishy and like, I don't know, like, you're in like the magic zone of anything can happen. And now everybody's here with me and I'm not having to lead them. And what's said in the next sentence is where we're going, not, I know where I'm going 3 sentences ahead and I want to drive the scene. That's when it's real. In this week's Master Shoot, there was a lot of that. And there was 2 or 3 lines that I think are very organic in the moment. Like, I'm not trying to Horowitz myself, but there was one thing that popped through. So I was just in the moment as Vince, and I had the Vince take of, God damn it, you're not going to tell me what to do. And I do think I came over with, God damn it, Bruce is an eternal spirit. He's going to be here forever. And like, that was, the cadence, but you don't know what is going to be said in that moment from those words. And I just saw it wash over Russo where he's like, I know that barking tone, but what did he just fucking say as that? I feel like we're reaching something when we get to those moments. I really like that stuff, man.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's going back to today's product. The discomfort that I had in the ring with a moment that I wasn't prepared for that made every audience member around me feel more comfortable because everybody's been through a weird moment of what the hell just happened. Let them enjoy it. It's been reversed. Everybody rehearses everything all day to be absolutely, completely comfortable and paint by numbers or wrestle by numbers. And the audience is uncomfortable watching it because it's like, all right, I get to the next thing. All right, I know it's a 30-minute match. All right, here's that Bailey promo. It's inverse now. Mm-hmm. Now I'm uncut. And that's, I think, it's a part of why the ratings have gone down because this is just not even an escape to make me comfortable, to laugh, to get mad, to see someone get their ass kicked. So why bother? Just let me go watch like something from the 80s if I want to watch wrestling.
You mean you didn't like that Bailey post-show promo? that was bad, eh?
Well, give the stooge off him what that guy Billy who does the show at Russo said. Why they're getting huge pushes is wow.
Okay, so we'll have a big celebration, but answer my question about what would it mean for you to be double champs together.
First of all, don't tell me what to do. You want to laugh, Chorizo? Huh? Sounds like churro, kind of. Can we call you churro? Chorizo! I love chorizo too. Anyways, what would it mean? What would it mean? It would mean we just proved to the world what we've been saying all along for the past, 8 years. That we are the freaking best, and we're at the top of the food chain. We're the top of the locker room. We're the leaders, the freaking role models.
And we are taking over the whole damn company.
Bye-bye. Ding dong. So let's go.
Goodbye.
Here's the thing with that.
So we'll have a big
as a real worker, just like you never want to tell anybody your age, you also don't want to tell management how long you've been there. Because then they'll be like, "Holy shit, they've been here for 8 years." Somebody like that's a thing that used to happen. You've been here. You've been like the old territory days. If you say I've been in this territory for 2 years, and then Ollie or somebody be like, "Holy shit, we got to move on from this guy. We got to get him out of here." Right? Maybe I'm just a different era. That is absolutely terrible, and you can tell by the way they're cutting the promo that they think it's the best shit they've ever done.
Don't tell me what to do. That's some viral shit, probably some little kid, and she thinks that's over because they passed it around in the car. And this is them, the factory system of being like the locker room, and the locker room leader is this, and they've been told that as they come through WWE, and they think that's what's important, dude. They think anybody gives a fuck who the locker room leader is in the girls division. Are you kidding me? That's the highest stakes, and that's the promo you're going to do. Like, just absolutely brutal. The stooge off is that Bruce's kids love Sasha and Bailey. That's why they get so much TV time.
Two people.
What do Declan, Rogan, and Kenyon think about this?
Well, according to Vince, they're too busy watching porn.
They're done.
Basically, the promos are similar.
Yeah. Rusev responds to a fan who calls Lana a vulgar insult. Former WWE star Rusev took to Twitter to confront an individual who called his wife Lana an annoying cunt. The fan who tagged both Lana and Rusev in his post wrote, "You're just an annoying cunt. We should call you thrush." I don't know what that means. Rusev responded focused on the fans' Twitter picture, which included their young child. He said, quote, "This is a father and his lovely little child," Rusev wrote. "What an example this child will have in his future. Also hope you never have a daughter so other fathers call her that name." But this is what he's doing while he's home. Not that he doesn't have the right to defend his wife.
All right, but his wife is a heel.
His wife is a heel, and this is, just a superstar selling for a fan with, let's see how many followers here.
Well, here's the thing that was, I put up a thing about the different pictures of like my career on the Instagram, and one of them was the right to censor thing, and then there was something about the right to censor, like some anniversary of something.
84 followers.
So,
84 followers.
Oh, great. Good job, Rusev. Or Miro.
Yeah, Miro. To be Miro.
Here. People tell me today, they either send me email. I get emails about it too. Hey, man, and they just throw it in there. Or the tweets or the things on social media about the right to censor, which 20 years later, people still say, "Hey, man, I love your fitness stuff and everything. Man, I hated you at right to censor. I wanted to kill you back then. I freaking hated when you covered the girls up or you did this and that. I hated you so much." And like when I go back and watch those videos, I said, now I could take this one of two ways. I could say, man, this guy's completely burying me. I got the fitness brand and everything. Why is he still holding on to the fact that he hates this group I did 20 years ago? Or I can say, I did a damn good job. Like this guy wanted to kill me back in 2000, 2001. They hated my gimmick that much. You come off as a gold-digging cunt on TV. Annoying cunt on TV. You did your job when this guy says you are that. But then you just destroyed any illusion.
Yala, you pussy. You're so incompetent. You're so retarded. You couldn't even play my clip on a Russo show. But I know why. Because your fingers are so goddamn fat. You just couldn't tap it. Do some push-ups. Lose that belly. Lose the man titties. You fat fuck. Cartman Hamin.
See, when a British person does it, at least they sound halfway polite. So that's here's another thing. Why are you fucking doing this when ratings are at their lowest? Why are you making less people believe in what you're doing on TV? And also, dude, why are you trying to, I mean, you got your wife on camera. She's back. You're saying, oh, it's a storyline. You're doing all that when she's very convincing in that role and getting real heat. If you're trying to get her fired, dude, it's a pandemic. There's no indies. There's no conventions. You only got one or two places that may hire you when 24 people are looking for work or more as it goes on.
She'll make so
you need to go off on a tangent about it, but and also I wouldn't want to cause my wife any grief at work by I don't know, maybe we're too far gone and this is just the way it is with the social media stuff, but that's just the way I see it. That's just the way I see it. And I could be wrong or outdated or whatever. But to me, man, there's some wrestling fans that are out there wanting to believe again. And there might be some 50-year-old or 55-year-old guys and girls getting work because they can make people believe again.
A superstar who's supposed
I'm
to be...
not going to Impact, by the way.
A superstar who's supposed to be known around the world as a Russian killer is selling for a guy with 84 Twitter followers to put shine on him to fucking slap his hands in a social justice way because he's sitting home and is tired of playing Call of Duty all day. That's
I wish you could get on me and Sal and play Call of Duty.
I know. Well, he can't figure out how to get on his Twitch. So, Bray Wyatt's been off TV because he and his partner JoJo recently welcomed their second child together. As noted, Wyatt and JoJo welcomed their daughter Hyrie, or Hyrie, Hyrie. It was noted on Observer that Wyatt took some time off to be with his family. This is why WWE went with Strowman feuding with The Miz and Morrison for Backlash. Strowman defeated some people, and the rest of this doesn't really matter. There is no word yet on if Wyatt will appear in person or SmackDown in the lead up to Extreme Rules, or if they'll continue to use pre-recorded content. We will keep you updated. The Wyatt Swamp fight will be another cinematic-style match filmed from the Performance Center. You can click here for the exclusive spoiler report. No, I won't. But, dude, here we are back to Cape Fear. Ruined, people were really putting over Russo brand Raw and SmackDown review this past week, and the locker room with Strangler Steve was a lot of people enjoyed that, and want to say
that's the best one ever.
Thank you. I want to say shout out to Strangler, man, for filling in there. I always have an excellent time when we get to spend some quality wrestling time talking like we would in the car ride, man, and people loved it, so thanks. Sorry, where was I?
What did it put over on the review? We talked about Bray, I think, right?
The Bray clip. I think Kaz cut it out there of like, dude, here's a guy that they're still going back, and we're going back to Cape Fear when this stupid promo about the snake bit him in the face, and I knew he could dance with the devil by the pale moonlight, and whatever the fucking dumb shit they're trying to put in there, when we already had the get down on your knees and half blow each other and take the take off the black sheep mask, look like you're entranced by it. Yeah, look at it, stare into its eyes, but then you realize, no, I'm not a black sheep, I'm a locomotive, I flip goddamn ambulances. And then you throw the mask down and you step on it, and then you pick them up, you grab them, and you give them a goddamn running power slam, and it's 1, 2, 3. Yeah. How far off, right?
But then go on Twitter and bite back on another guy with 80 followers to defend Alexa Bliss and go completely off character. Just checking. What's the if Rusev was at the company and they were doing that, what would be the fine?
$1,000 per follower, so $84,000 for that.
Very nice. With no Call of Duty for 2 weeks.
Oh, absolutely no, banned. Twitch channel revoked.
So I mean, the Bray stuff, man. The guy's got to be. Does he have another one in him for them to destroy? Does he have a fourth character in him for them? 4 world champions, 4 Hall of Fame characters. Does he have it in him to have it destroyed once again?
He does now because he's got a new one at home, so he's got to provide. And don't think that Vince and them don't know that. We got him. We got him, boys. Like, I'm indebted to you now. There's a reason that you're going to be here and do what we tell you to do, because we know you got a kid. We got 2 kids to pay their college for, because that could be our next superstar down the road. 15 years.
That's a corporate America thing, not just WWE. Because when I was there, they were always pushing, in a way, the boys would push, buy a really expensive house, buy a car. It's all write-offs. Stay at a Marriott. And in corporate America, I saw people when I worked in technology that would go and they would get the promotions and do that, and it would be the old classic. It's in movies too. That guy's got a mortgage. He's got a BMW lease. His wife has a car. He's not going anywhere. You don't have any debt. So if you don't like what's going on, you'll probably leave.
Yeah.
Real thing.
It's to hang it over you. I can't remember what movie that is.
I remember that too. Yeah, it was a movie as well. But that's a real thing based on real HR stuff and people looking at the employees and what. Dude, they've always been just as invasive as the government.
They know it.
I forget what movie it was, if someone knows in the chat, but it is a movie thing too.
There's a scene where he's like, you don't have any kids or your wife, whatever. They're like, there's nothing I can hold over you. That's why I got to deny you this favor or whatever it is. I can't remember what the fuck it is.
Promotion. It was a promotion somewhere.
I can't remember what it is, the scene, but it's in my head too. WWE recently reported to change plans for this week's Raw episode, which could have related to the recent spike in positive COVID-19 cases from the company. It was noted that Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic were originally scheduled to be in the show in person, but ended up being aired segment from the home to continue the feud with Seth Rollins. It's also worth noting several stars who are currently featured in key storylines did not appear, but their programs continued, including Randy Orton, yada yada, Street Profits, Austin Theory, Liv Morgan, and Natalya. SmackDown ring announcer Greg Hamilton worked Raw this week, while Red Brand announcer Mike Romeo was not on the show. Yeah, so they probably all got COVID. But we got the Stooge report on the inside that if Vince may have it, but now that he had it and he worked through it all, he doesn't want to hear shit from anybody. You're not going to tell me it's not goddamn flu. I made it. I'm 74 and didn't do shit to me. So I want you back out there. Pretty much. He might not be wrong to some degree, but once he wants to no-sell for it, he gets it, beats it, he's going to double down on stupid and not sell for it even harder.
I'm just amazed that he actually admitted he even had the flu, because there is no sick.
Yeah.
There is no sick. I think you need to repeat the no mask Kevin Dunn story too. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, supposedly Stooge report was that Dunn was down. This is on the Monday Locker Room, and I couldn't believe it because I thought RBV was telling it backwards to me, that Dunn was down there talking to fans, which are invited guests of workers and friends and family, and a couple people who got tested. They had masks on, and Dunn was down in the pit telling them, well, you're not a real true WWE fan. We don't want people to be reminded of sickness. We want no masks here. We can't be showing that, which, Vince probably sent him down there to give that order, dude. And not to, the normal you deserve it fanboys, but people who are doing them a solid, and then they're trying to challenge them of you're not a true fan. So
well, let me ask you a question. What if because Kevin Dunn's not the most socially proficient person. He doesn't talk to people. He doesn't know how to deal with people.
Sure.
He's in that thing and he's directing. He's a very kind of blunt, crass individual who thinks he's the boss of everybody, just like Vince in some ways. Vince is a little smoother, like a salesperson. What if Kevin Dunn went up to your wife or someone you loved or close to your family and started talking down to them like that, or started trying to peer pressure them or do whatever? I don't know if that situation with you and I and the way we currently are would go that well for Kevin Dunn.
I don't think it went well for Andy Dick before I was anybody. And Andy Dick tried to press up on me in the elevator when I was a talent handler. And he's grabbing my arm all half cocked and, trying to get me to get him whatever and half ferrying out. And I was like, dude, nobody grabs on Pops like that. He's like, don't worry about it. I was like, dude, if you don't let go of me, I'm gonna fucking drop you, bro, right here. And okay, take it easy, big guy. Yeah, I go, you fucking take it easy, bud. So if anybody even tried to flex on my family, especially Kevin Dunn, might find himself with a broken wrist out of nowhere, me without a job. But I've never played that shit, ever. Yeah. So,
Cole Cabana remembers.
Yeah, Cole Cabana remembers too. I was nobody and he was signed, and he tried to do that shit. And when he got fucking stared down, it was a real moment. He was ready. It was ready to pop off right then. So that's how it would go. Instead of, oh my God, the executive producer said, nah, he's a man. He can get fucking dropped in his tracks, beaver teeth the fuck out, no problem, bro. Your spot is not protected.
Did you like my dramatic squirrel gif when that posted up?
Yes, I did like it.
I just feel like that these guys are also living, obviously I could have stood up for my business a little bit more. And I'm not trying to pretend and write revisionist history. I didn't get pushed around at one point by Kevin Dunn or Vince or anybody in the office or the Bruces and other people of the world. Different time once again. I look at the time now and how these people pretty much bark back and do their business and all that stuff. And I'm like, holy shit, if we just played it even a little bit politically, we'd all be world champions. All me, you, Sal, Bob, and it'd be the easiest run. Because we actually, if they don't think they have rights now, dude, go back 10, 20, 30, 40 years, you have all the rights in the world. You have more power than you realize. Because apparently there's no such thing as heat anymore unless you actually play the game as a team player. If you are an asshole or stick up for your business even when you shouldn't, it seems to work out pretty well.
I'll go in there and slap the shit out of somebody just to get people talking. Somebody who fucking needs it. Like you said earlier, I'm here to uplift everybody and I'm easy to work with. But the New York in me and
the
whatever.
You can down with the right people is a good play.
Yeah, you fuck around and want to test me and cross the line verbally, online, whatever. People see it all the time when people try and do that. Not all the time because it happens rarely now, but it's the same way physically. I will fucking snap out of work mode in a second if you want to fucking... Oh, you want to step? You want to fucking do that shit, dude? I was all about getting along and fucking do it. You want to do show me one thing? Okay, we're at war now. I'll fucking see you when your head's cut off in front of everybody.
You called that one too.
Yeah, like you want to fuck around? Let's fuck around, dude. Because I don't push things that way. But somebody makes a chess move, I don't let it slide by, you know?
Well, here's the thing, and I'll say it as I always say it. Doing this job or being a part of the business is hard enough as it is without you trying to play games to make it even harder.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is. There could be a point, you know, and that's something too, like even the people like him I know you don't like the need to bring his name up, too often, but David Starr had an opportunity to really collaborate on something that we saw as, okay, cool. He's trying to do the right thing. Let's reach out and imagine if that went the right way and then the pandemic came up with a union in place where everybody would have been, as opposed to just basically taking 15 hours to try to find a David Icke tweet that you retweeted, which he didn't even look to see what David Icke was talking about. Could have been something very like on point with what we're seeing today.
Yep.
Instead, he looked at it from what he wanted to do. He wanted to find something wrong with you so he could try to be over you, ranked in some way.
The conversation was nothing to do with the union. It was to put me in line and fucking vet me and check me. And
your conversation was, not his.
Correct. So, yeah, it's fuck faces like that where I feel the stars align and something pushed me there, and here's the opportunity. Reach out to Cornette. Reach out to Starr. Do whatever it takes to fucking try and make things better. And then when the people you reach out to are mentally and morally deficient and egomaniacal sociopaths, it's fucking blatant. Whether it's Lagana, whether it's him, or whatever the fuck. Okay, I'm not going to fucking push and do business and dance for you. I see where you're fucking headed, and I already know your past, so I know about patterns of behavior. I look at them in all forms of nature, and fucking chances are your time is going to be very short very soon. And I'll just wait. And while we were waiting, how much has Vince McMahon's net worth grown during COVID-19 pandemic? Middletown Press has a new report out looking at the Connecticut billionaires and troubling growth of their fortunes throughout COVID-19 pandemic. WWE CEO Vince McMahon is featured in the piece as the sports entertainment mogul saw his total net worth increase 9.8% from $1.8 billion in March to the onset pandemic in the United States to $1.98 billion in June. The article also states that an estimated 400,000 individuals in the state of Connecticut have lost their jobs over the course of the past 3 months as a result of coronavirus. WWE McMahon came under heavy fire in April after releasing and furloughing numerous on-screen and off-screen talents in a move they claim was due to COVID-related budget cuts. In total, the company claimed the layoffs would save them $4 million per month while opening up about $40 million in available cash flow.
Well, that's what it is. He laid people off or laid them off or fired them, and the stock goes up and his net worth goes up. So that's not such a, crazy thing. But you have to think too, $4 million a month is like us paying out $100 a month for staff to stay on during the pandemic. Think about the Noble Edge effect you called it. Mm-hmm. Think about the positive PR if they could have came out and said, we're going to stand by our team. Think about the goodwill and how many people would want to run through a wall for you to say, hey, guys, this thing isn't over. It's not going to be over for a long time. We're not going to be able to use everybody, but let's use the network. Let's give everybody a show. Let's do something. We'll make the money back. But it's going to cost us about $4 million a month to keep everybody here. But you know what? You guys are worth it because you kill yourselves for us. Let's try to get everybody over. Let's give you network shows. We'll rotate people in and out to wrestle. But let's create some other types of stars right now. That's our mission statement until this thing is over. or at least maybe for the next year or two. Your pay is going to go down, but we're still going to pay you, but you're not going to be traveling. We'll figure out the trade-off. Dude, how many people, like, in me, I'd be like, I want to work for this fucking guy.
Yeah, loyalty.
It's cool.
Loyalty. And they don't know how to do it. Everything is just, you're a racehorse and we don't need you. We'll take you out back and put you down.
And then what would happen? You know what you do politically with that? The people that are spouting off and trying to do bad business or trying to get out of their contracts or doing whatever, you still can play your little games because the Lanas and the Rusevs or the other people be like Nia Jax, even other people, somebody in the locker room is going to step up and go, hey, man, this guy's trying to do right by me. You're like killing the business. Stop it. You actually create policemen in the locker room that are going to stand up for your company when those people do that, and you won't even have to deal with them.
Because their bitching and stooging is going to fuck up other people's paper who are going along with it, who have actual creative fucking ideas to be able to pivot during a time of whatever and see opportunity that way. Yeah, those brain gems are great. I love that Noble Edge effect from there.
But they're not applying it.
No, they'll wait for this until Corona's over, and then they can do the Corona Survivors special where they give them all belts like they did the cancer ladies or the fucking kids, and they think that's
well, they put it all. Well, they call it the Connors Corona Survival Month or something, like everything like lumped into one.
It'll be some hero like
this
is the doctor who tested everyone at NXT. He's the Connors Corona Survivor superhero, and he's getting a fucking belt. Like that's it, bro. Like that's it. Cogload, that's the site I was looking for.
What is that?
Cogload, COGLODE.com. That's where I get a lot of the stuff. And we're talking about Patreon, and what I need to do is obviously dedicate another hour a day to doing a video so I can build up the library so I can do my own Patreon. But it'll pretty much be not a lot, but some of these Cogload nuggets that are just phenomenal things. And it's expensive to subscribe, but there are a bunch of free runs I could do no problem and talk about them in depth. But check out COGLODE.com. Absolutely incredible information. They used to be all free, and then they monetized it, but there's tons of great stuff on here to research.
What about OnlyFans and Adam and Eve codes?
They might have that on there. There might be build a library of insights, research prioritized. Start with one box, so maybe it is that way. You get to see one box in the OnlyFans. Sasha Banks discusses Sammy Guevara comments. She says, I can't show hate with hate. She spoke with Sports Illustrated about the recent comments, which led to AEW pulling Guevara and sent him to sensitivity training. She said, earlier I spoke with Sammy, apologized, and we had an open discussion. Words like the comments he made, jokingly or not, have absolutely no place in our society. I don't condone or tolerate that kind of behavior. What one thinks is just a side comment can have a massive impact on someone else's life and can send the wrong message. We have to hold ourselves accountable for actions and the words we say. I hope this situation shows him that. I hope from this point on, in order for growth and change within our community to take place, we can all continue to have conversations. No person, man, woman, or child should ever feel subjected to feel a feeling of fear or unsafe in any environment. We all have to do better. And some other shit that I can't see because it got cut off. I disagree. Sticks and stones, words, ignorant, no matter what. What she did there is give full credence and pat on the back to cancel culture, to say that words hurt. Words do not hurt. Feelings do not hurt. They are not injury. That is the fact that you cannot fucking deal with that in your own psyche and haven't found a way. There is no actual physical injury from words. And now you are giving cancel culture the green light to go back on anybody's shit they've ever said and fuck with their money, fuck with their livelihood, their entire careers, based on some fucking bitch and moan researchers who go, Look at the words he said. He said rape. And even if he was 19 and said it dumb and whatnot, and they smoothed it out and try and do it as a PR thing, bull fucking shit. You do not give these cancel culture fucking soy boy fucking whatever they want to do, Operation Mockingbird, Soros lobbyists, the ability to say double think, double speak, and thought crime, even if it's under satire laws, is now banned. That's what you're really fucking doing. If he ever put his hands on anybody and maybe that type of thinking would lead to that, then that's a different issue. Curbing the fucking language and banning things is completely wrong. There is no ban on language. There never will be.
I wouldn't say never, because right now there is word crime. This is word crime, and then it will be thought crime, much like Minority Report. If people think that that's science fiction, if the technology exists or ever does exist, the pre-crime could be a real thing. Disco had a really interesting take on this. If you're a subscriber on the Realm Network, about, he suggested, and I don't want to give away the whole thing of what he said, but he said Sammy should get a lawyer. For them, I mean, as far as the apology and everything, but then the steps that AEW took with him in full until further notice too. It's not even a 15 or 30 day or a number of TV episodes suspension. It's a indefinite suspension after, and then sensitivity training and all that stuff.
Cody's even putting over, he's going to come back a better man, and so they're just leading.
But he's a heel.
It's all the fucking, it's all the bullshit to do the PR swing of it all, bro, where now he's going to be woke to the fuck, like, dude, he's young, sexy, chicks want to bang him, and now he's going to be Mr. Whatever after this, to be marched around in public off of some shit that is words. No one was hurt here. No one was assaulted. No one was put in a position to quid pro quo. No one was. This is the after fucking market of the peanut gallery, thinking that they have the ability to dictate the conversation, and they need to have their fucking legs chopped out from underneath them. They don't need to be silenced. They can bitch about it, but they do not have the power to fucking influence here. And the world needs to stop selling for this type of shit. And her putting it over that. This is completely unacceptable. Bullshit. Comedians and people should be able to say fantastical scenario, improbable things that are threatening, that are ridiculous and whatnot. He wasn't on the mic going, I want to fucking rape her. Like, it wasn't in that vein and text of it. It was some locker room, dude, she's so fucking fine, be out with. And not that the words aren't ignorant or for a purpose, they are words. And no one should fucking be held accountable for that shit to the point of it affects you this way, that, or the other. Now, granted, you can't come into the fucking office and go, I'm raping her, and that's not what he did, because that's a fireable offense. This is some shit from years ago that they brought back up.
It's almost like that everybody who doesn't come out of the womb perfect with no mistakes and with no growth. It's a very scary trend that's going to start in society. It has started, where you're never allowed to make any mistakes and you're never allowed to say or even do anything wrong to grow as a person. Like it is like, I mean, you talk about Christianity or the Catholic religion, but in real life, not even just afterlife, you have that book now in real life where someone's looking at it and saying, this is all the shit you've ever done or said, and now you'll be judged on it. That's the Catholic or Christian religion. That you go up. I know you're rolling your eyes, but now that
please judge me. Closet homosexual pedophile guy who can't come to grips with the fact that he's gay, so he had to escape into the fucking religion world to make his mom and dad happy.
No, I'm talking about the afterlife when you're in front of God.
Oh, well, I was just talking about the first step of judgment to make sure we're cool to get to the fucking imaginary judgment.
But judging, but now you have who's we're differentiating religion from faith. I'm not talking about religion. I mean, I'm not talking about faith. I'm talking about religion. I'm talking about man itself. And that is an example of what we're looking at now. Like, who are these people? And now it's a mystery panel of people that don't exist that are coming after whoever for whatever words or thoughts or things that were done. And you could be like, you can't be a fucking stupid kid anymore. You can't be a stupid kid on any level. You can't make a mistake or do anything, because now for the rest of your life, even if you take out a bad loan or you file for bankruptcy, it could potentially go against your future coming social score like they have in China. Now it's like, you better be perfect, or you're either perfect or you should just fucking do something to not be here anymore, because it's not what you see what I'm saying?
They eat their own. They eat this always ends up in them eating their own, whether it's comedy or what have you right here.
Well, here's a thought too, like with AEW and what you've been teasing here and there, which is driving everybody in your group nuts, by the way. What if they don't take the 1-to-1 ratio steps or more steps if these things come out? What if Sammy is treated like a scapegoat to be the public facing punishment, and then these things don't get done if these stories come out, if they're true?
They're hoping it's that. They're hoping it's that. Me seeing him.
That, hey, we did this to Sammy, so now we don't need to do anything after that.
Because it'll be like they're like, there's 4 or 5 more skeletons, but we're hoping that the SJWs just blow over now, because we'll keep a kayfabe between the boys who really know, as opposed to they can call us out on some past shit. You know what I mean? Because they don't know. So they're using this to look woke, and that they'll move on to the next thing, and they'll just be done with them. That's how I see it playing out. That's how I would play it out. But it doesn't matter, because Sasha Banks is the locker room leader, and she stamped this conversation as a fail for me, so I'm probably buried. Maria Kanellis reveals the original plans for Who's the Daddy storyline.
I was going to say that just real quick.
Yeah.
That this will be clipped by our guys or some other people, and then she'll be, what do you call it on Twitter, snitch tagged?
Yes. I'm sure.
And then she'll come at you and sell for you, which, how many followers do you have? I'm not saying you don't have a lot, but
almost 4,000.
She's going to sell for somebody on a podcast that's not connected in any way, who has 4,000 followers, but then you will gain more traction with that. I'm just saying that
I will. My response will be a simple picture of Russo in the legit boss gear, and I'll say, "Hey, I'm a merch buyer.
I'm a big fan of your clearance items.
I'm a big fan of your clearance stuff. Please keep rocking. You're doing great." I don't know what to tell you. If you come, that's what I'm saying. If anyone comes at me with this shit, everything I do is not calculated. It's all calculated. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna fucking say? You're gonna step up to try and knock me down in a conversation? Let's have that conversation, because I'm the one. And how many people have already in this business looked at my shit off the ... dive or tweet apologize, dive, repeat. You know, just a little poke of the bear that we do on our own guys sometimes. And then they know that they go and they do their vanity metrics and whatnot, and then they figure out they don't want it with Hove. They don't want it here. It's not the target you want to fucking strike at.
I'm a little jealous, because when I saw that, I was like, man, I'm looking for a, I'm going to look at the clearance section right now. I was a little jealous. I was really not happy that you sent that Lana Day shirt. That is seriously the worst shirt I've ever.
That's what I'm saying. But if they clip out the see you next Tuesday shit from here, like, what are you going to, he's going to come at me. I'll be like, you're right, bro. Lana is the best. Lana's number one, except for this burlap shirt that I bought on the clearance section. Hashtag merch buyer.
And I'm trying to see if there's any other outfit. I know there's the AJ jacket and gloves and all that stuff and everything. Clearance.
Oh, shit. You've already sent enough this week. You spent enough on shipping.
WrestleMania 36 fanny pack.
It was supposed to be Mike Kanellis, and she was just being a bitch the whole time, but it was just too good, too real, too honest. And she was supposed to remain the heel until she came back from maternity leave. Babyface mama.
What's this?
Who was supposed to be the father of Maria Kanellis' kid? It was going to end up being Mike Kanellis, and she was just doing it to be a bitch to him. Apparently the whole gynecology thing was staged. I don't know why he couldn't see through it.
That's a real thing, that she was acting like a complete bitch to him and saying it wasn't his kid just to be a bitch, but it was really what?
It was going to be his kid in the end.
So how's that? This doesn't sound quite like the Savage Liz reunion to me. What is, unless they were fucking with them, both of them.
Probably. I know Paul Heyman had a big soft spot for her. He loved her in OVW and helped bring her along a long way. And she's a great performer. So who knows there what kind of weird things were going on.
Do you want a Birdie B trucker hat? The kid has merch.
That hurt me to even hear those words.
Birdie B trucker hat or Bree mode trucker hat. Because I know when my father, who's in a South Philly Italian Teamster, drives that truck up to the truck stop in Western Pennsylvania with his Bree mode trucker hat.
Well, for me,
don't fuck with that guy. Give that guy the best steak we have back here because he's got a fucking
Bree mode's here. Somebody would get the big meat. Bree mode just came.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't make that trucker go Bree mode.
I would actually wear that just as a golf hat. So when it got serious between me and referee sideburns, I could turn it around like over the top, and I would go into Bree mode, and then I would spank the ball just to make him mad.
I don't mean to laugh, but is this a Mandela effect? Is this a Mandela effect that she literally shouted Bree mode before she did that dive to the ropes?
No, she would. That she would yell Bree mode.
No, did she? Right, like when she took the header.
Oh, did she yell it?
She screamed Bree mode.
I think she did. I think she did scream it. Well, wasn't that Nikki that took the header?
No, I thought it was Bree.
It was Bree. Oh,
I thought she went Bree mode.
Maybe it is fucking.
Because that's what you said.
Yeah.
Like on the Raw SmackDown
Bree
review.
mode. Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
I want to believe that she did because I'm going to stick with that story, even though it might be bullshit. Better. But maybe that's what it is. When you're a trucker, you wear the trucker hat. You go into Bree mode. That's when you're fucking just 12 fucking shots deep, and you just take the face pump.
Boom.
That's Bree mode.
Right into the back of the cab, full on. Get a couple lot lizards, go full Bree mode on them.
This generation doesn't even know what those are. Dude, I asked my dad one time about that because he didn't, I was on the road like probably 15, 20 years at that point, and I was like, dude, have you ever had a lot lizard? And his face either looked like he wanted to punch me, tell me to shut the fuck up. Like there was a combination of emotions that were coming out. And
probably not the best Thanksgiving cross table talk you've ever done.
It wasn't in front of my mom, obviously. Yeah.
Ric Flair doesn't believe he ever had a great WrestleMania match. I can't disagree there. No.
Really?
I just everything that is Flair that was phenomenal from before never really shined at WrestleMania. Like it was all like, remember what Flair was, and we're going to do it here at Mania and give him his shine. Not that he can't work, but there was never like those original Dusty, Flair, Steamboat, like nothing ever felt really organic like that. It was always like, this is what Ric Flair was, and we're celebrating his legacy by giving him a match. Nothing ever really fit to me.
I don't 100% disagree, but I don't 100% agree with you because
whatever.
What's that?
With Sean. But that's
no. I'm not even saying Sean. That to me was really well done. But I think what you're saying is like the hard edge that the Dusty thing had where they broke his arm, or the Steamboat thing where it was just like, who's going to be the best and let's just go hard for 30 minutes. Yeah. I think the match with Savage at WrestleMania 8, I believe, even though they had the Liz thing and I had her first, they went pretty hard in that match that reminded me of what a little bit of the Flair Steamboat was. If you're a fan of the Savage Steamboat match and the Flair Steamboat match, I would dare say that's a good little hybrid for you to have, even though it was like the schoolboy finish. You know what I mean? Right. It wasn't like the finish was flat to me.
Well, he says that Savage was preoccupied because that was right before they broke up and shit. So, I mean, Flair on his worst day is 90% better than everybody else on the show. I was even thinking about 8. I was thinking about everything after he came back. And that to me seems like there was Flair's real career, where he was in the grind and the storylines were about him. And then everything when he came back to WWE, Evolution, all that shit is like post. Like, we're just celebrating. Everything we do is celebrating what Flair did from 80 to 99, pretty much, like nothing after that. And I think that's kind of what he's saying, like, of what it is. And that's kind of how I felt about it too. That short run when he finally did come over was just in the middle, and the matches were great, but it was still not really built around him, like the company being built around him.
Well, I think our era too, we were, dude, how many magazine covers, how many dream matches with him and Hogan. And then when they finally got together, it didn't meld. It didn't mesh. Tons of house shows together. It was supposed to be him and Hogan at WrestleMania 8, but they split it up with Hogan and Sid and then Savage and Flair, which to me is like, wow, as a kid, I'm getting 2 of these matches. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I can see how they just weren't going to have Flair and Hogan. It didn't have the build it should have had. Plus, Vince is never going to really put over anybody. If he ain't putting over Flair from WCW, nobody's getting put over from another company. So I didn't want to cut you off. I know you had a quote from him, but
no, it's just him putting it over in that same way. And it's not like, oh, my matches sucked. It's just they weren't where they always should have been because of the timing wasn't right. And sometimes when you try and force the magic, it's harder to make it,
Yeah, and maybe back in 8 or even 18, like they said with Taker, he shouldn't have been a full-time. He should have been more of a special attraction. Maybe he was just a bit stale. And maybe he was a bit stale going into the Shawn match as far as being overexposed.
This is an interesting one, kind of in the same vein, where Mick Foley says he resents being the guy who did the Hell in the Cell match. I literally felt like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. For 15 years, someone would come up to me as if it's the first time I'd ever been asked and go, did it hurt? I resented it to the point that I expected it. I dislike being the guy known for the one match because there are other things I want to be known for. He talks about Terry Funk and stuff later too, but who also just turned 76 years old.
Wow. Is he still retired?
Well, it's just because there's no bookings this summer.
I think that's why too. Dude, I dare say to be remembered for one thing in wrestling and people to remember it forever is not such a bad thing.
Yeah. And, New York Times #1 bestseller for the real fans, obviously. Yokohama Death Match, all that kind of shit, dude. All the Cactus Jack stuff to the fun stuff with Rock and Sock Connection. But you're going to have those marks. Like, we were at the merch table, and then remember the dude came up to you and wouldn't fucking stop, and you had to heel on him. You're like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, the Blue World Order stuff when we were there.
Well, because when you're doing that, you're trying to make money, and there's a line, and the guy is doing a shoot interview with you, and you answer a couple questions, and he's still there, and it's like, how can you? I think you healed him. I think I let you heal him.
You were getting mad, and then I just stepped in with character.
As my wife said, I got the henchman on him.
I'll unload on anybody and scare them off, like to embarrass them. All I got to do is start yelling loud and pointing fingers, and everybody looks at them. They can't take that shit. They fucking scurry away. It's fun. Gallows and Anderson have signed with Impact Wrestling. According to Sports Skeeta, who had previously reported the two were close to the agreement, had not been signed, but the news broke on Monday night that they are signing. On Impact, even D'Amore did a thing backstage where he set it up saying Good Brothers and all this shit set it up for Slammiversary with the North, Ego Page, and I can never remember his partner's name. He's fucking good, though.
Josh something.
Yeah, Alexander. So, be good stuff. But we talked about this. Big money hustlers coming in. I heard they can work New Japan and they can work Impact. Gallows and Anderson coming in to clock that Good Brother paycheck money. We'll see if it gets stooged off how much they're making so you can set your price $500 higher when they want to bring you in.
Hey, good for them. Good for them. And I know they were trying to throw all these swerves out there they did pictures with an old picture with the Bucks, or maybe the Bucks are in Jacksonville filming and they took a current picture with them. I think that's it, because Anderson looked pretty lean.
They live.
So if it's the whole
I think
picture-
he lives in Florida.
Oh, I didn't know that. But they were in Jacksonville Beach. So hot and sticky down there, of course. I don't like it anymore. I want the mountains. I don't know, man. I know you and Steve went in about the Impact stuff, which I popped for. And they probably listened and they're not going to do anything, but that's fine. That's wrestling. Like I said in the beginning, we got our own stuff going on. That's wrestling bullshit and stuff. We don't have time for you put in 14-hour days. Dare I say I put in a few hours a day as well.
Yeah.
Don't have time for what Vince would call the mental masturbation.
No.
And that's what it is, dude. That's one thing when I heard Terry Taylor, I hear Cornette say it, I heard Russo talk about it. It really gives you a lot of good perspective on, like you said, just come at me with a number. We'll see if it's a number we both can agree on. Don't try to, but also I know my worth in a way too, that Gallows and Anderson, as good as the guys as they are, as far as like, well, they could be real politickers and that's probably why they got the deals. They're talents, but you're not going to be able to beat me in a promo. I'm sorry. Your good pro, the promo is entertaining, but I could throw 3 or 4 different characters out there that I could bring Dr. Stevie back. I could be this or that. And I'm not getting on a pulpit saying that, but I know my value and I know my worth. Don't act like you're doing me a fucking favor either.
You think Sex Ferguson couldn't go toe to toe with Dr. Stevie and Festus couldn't hang with Right to Censor Stevie? You're canceled.
Hey, but you know what? The Office thinks that they'll be worth money. I don't ever begrudge one of the boys get as much money as you can while they're still open. Because they're not a guaranteed 10, 20-year company, whichever version it is. That's just the way I look at it, man. I wish I had the attitude back when I wanted to be such a team player and I wanted the Office to like me and approve of the work. And I just think about that, which instilled a good work ethic in me. But at the same time, I fell for not 100%, but yeah, I love the business. But now it's like you can't even get the question out. And I say, no, it's not a love thing. It's just you can't put love and business in the same fucking sentence or question. It's a trick. It's a trick they use to say we're family when they want to get you for lower. But then it's just business when they want to release you because they don't want to pay. They put that duplicitous kind of existence in your wrestling career. And honestly, Ben, I don't trust it. No more than you would trust going to WWE as a writer or anything like that. You would not give up your platforms, and no more than all 3 of us, you, myself, and Russo, want to keep our businesses no matter what company comes calling. We're not going to give it up. No way. Because we have too much control. We have too much put into this to just go and do what Bischoff did.
My business is, after they bring me in, is to shine my other shit. Like, that only adds more credibility to my following. If I showed up on Impact, I'm going to go from 4,000 to 14,000 in a week's time. You know what I mean? That's what, probably because I'll wear some.
You want to use them to drive Europe income
absolutely,
up.
dude.
And they don't like that. In a way, they don't like that because they want to have the control. No. We're using you. You can't use us.
I'm already made,
Don't
dude.
you love the business?
Yeah, I do love the business. I love the spotlight. I love getting money from fans, knowing that I gave them a good product and a good show. I love shocking the shit out of people and making them groan and go, aw. So when they close the door at the end of the night and they get in their car and go, what was your favorite match, dude? Like, oh, the high flying was the shit. But you know what was awesome? When the terrorist did this or that. Or you know what was awesome? When the seat came off the chair and he had to look at it and then they got him with the other chair. There's no way they could have faked that and had that out there. That's what I love the business. Going, oh, you won't want to do this? You want to drive to Chicago and I didn't have my money ready and now you got to drive back and you worked for free and I'll PayPal you in 3 days? No, I don't love like the excuse of like holding my feet to the fire on that shit. That's not loving the business. Loving the business is fucking the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the fucking getting to make those moments and that type of shit. And that's got nothing to do with price. I miss my indie rate of working 3-4 weekends a month, man. That's where the money really hurts. And you're not like, oh, the business sucks. There's nothing you can do about it. But the people confuse these phrases to hold them to a different standard when it means nothing else completely. Loving the business is addiction to fame, money, and spotlight. That's what loving the business is.
Well, this is the thing too. They were talking about the former way I used to do business with, say, WWE or any company, would be to, hey man, I'll be a good team player. I'll keep my mouth shut. Not with anything like egregious, like we talked about with Ashley Massaro and all that stuff. I'm just talking about, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and keep out of this, not have an opinion about anything, which also the current talent could kind of like throw a little bit of that in there because they talk too much. But you told the truth about what the little games that Impact might be playing through Swinger or through people I know in the company, and not ever calling or contacting me, and all these other things that are really wasting valuable time in a way that you could have kept potentially kept something going, or before he got fired could have actually had a backup plan while you're helping get that guy over. You just you don't figure into my thought that much. But I'm not going to lie when they say, hey, we heard you say that, Swinger said that we said, well, where's Stevie at? And this and that. I go, it's the fucking truth. Oh, now we're mad at Swinger because what did you even, you don't think, like when they were 2 blocks away?
You take 10 steps when you could have gone and taken 1. And now in those 10 steps lead you to nowhere, right back to where the first step could have taken you. Then you have to take that 1 step, which is actually just making the call and doing real business like a real businessman does and seeing if it's there. Instead, we tried to go all this way around. It didn't work. Now we got to make the call. Shit. Just make the call positive in the first and stop playing the fucking games. Time is money. And wasting time that way. Big shout out in the chat room. A great point here from Darren. Says the core Impact guys are about to learn about loyalty and family when EC3, EY, Gallows and Anderson, Rusev, and Bennett's all sign. Love won't stop guys like Rohit and cousin Jake from getting squeezed out. That's 100% fucking true right there. Build it on the backs of Rohit Raju, cousin Jake and the Deaners, Falaba and TJP right now until we can get those. We love you guys. Locker room's the best it's ever been. The North, oh, here come these guys making 2x, 3x, 4 times as much money as what you have the last 6 months, a year that you've been keeping this company alive. And man, we got a get over match for you where you guys are going to put over the Good Brothers, and that's it. And then we don't have anything for the other 4 tapings for you.
Yeah,
that's coming.
Swinger.
That's coming, right?
Yeah. Think about Swinger. Swinger, I think, is the most overact in the company, and he stands out and he's entertaining. And these guys will come in obviously making more money than him. I don't know what he's making. Hey, the dangerous thing, no pun intended, is what if these guys come in and fucking Shamrock's getting less? Shamrock got about as much of a pedigree as anyone. Mm-hmm. You should be building somewhat of the company around Shamrock too. Sami Callihan. What about his deal compared to these guys where you're looking at it like that to me is that could be some Dixie Carter style negotiations and being marks for guys and bringing them in.
I think Swinger's going to get over huge though with the Good Brothers with the Carney talk and shit.
I doubt it, but to him it's money too.
Right.
Like getting over is great, but how am I translating this into more money? And I'm not saying that I don't know what they're paying him. They could have already given him a raise, and he deserves it. That world of 6 months, get yourself over, redo your deal, seems to be gone. You better get the money when you first come in because it's not going up. There's always going to be an excuse. But getting back to my thing, like every day that I'm technically not in this business full time, I'm becoming what they call a normie. A normal person that wants to do business in a normal way. Because when we talk to sponsors, we talk to Road, we talk to other people, here's the deal, here's what I need, here's what I'm going to give you. All right, cool. Wrestling, why can't it be that simple? Hey, we want to bring you in, we want to do this thing. This is what we're thinking about paying you. And I'd be like, either cool or, hey, well, if you want me to do X, Y, or A, B, and C, AB3, like, that should be this. I got this much, and I'm not gonna be a drug addict. I'm not gonna fail a drug test. I'm gonna show up on time. I'm gonna be in shape, and I'm gonna pass knowledge along to the kids. And you're gonna get good quality matches and promos. I think that's worth this. And if they say no, or they come back in the middle, we both agree on it. And then nobody bitches after that I say, oh, they fucked me, or they say, oh, he fucked us. We're how many months in since the first time since they were here in Atlanta? I know we're going a little bit off on a tangent here, but this is what these new roster kids and these people that are paid to learn how to wrestle don't realize that, dude, there's a stress before you even get to the building, before you even get into the company, dealing with these fucking guys sometimes.
But it should be inviting for everyone. Everyone should be invited, and it should be a safe space with safe talk for everyone, where the management provides a safe space for everyone. Meanwhile, it's 10 steps. Because
let's take it one step further. You mentioned the backbone and the foundation that built for these guys that are getting signed to supposedly really good deals. What do you think is going to happen, like you said before, with maybe the possibility of the stress that the girls that you keep mentioning, the one with the 50% off the Adam and Eve and other things? What do you think is going to happen when they say we don't need the headache, and that prediction you had comes true, where it is going to be an all guys show, and maybe we'll have a one night only show once a year with the female wrestlers?
I think
two things that could happen here.
Yeah. Liability and money wise and time wise on the show, and what they deem star power and what they're going to do with it. They're already burying Shamrock, like making him like, people like, he's the world's most dangerous man. Ha 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 ha. And then his music hits and down he comes and he looks better than everyone on your roster at his age, and he's legit cred, but we're still going to fucking get heat on him. Like, the writing's
and he
backwards.
Beat up everybody in the locker room for real at once. So he is the most dangerous guy, and he's a guy with a temper. So you're fucking. Why are you fucking with him? I'd make him world champion.
Yep.
I would seriously make him.
Dreamer cut a hell of a promo this week.
I heard that one.
Good. It was damn good. It helped Moose get to the next level too, I think. So
what I was going to say was very quickly, if they're smart, they'll use the budget. They'll use the budget to get rid of anybody they think is going to be a future problem with that we just talked about. Because if they go the other way and say you're going to be too much of a headache, then there's a lawsuit. But if they just go with a money thing and start cutting people and include those people in there, that could be something. I'm not saying that's what they should do, but they got to be looking at it going, what are we looking at moving forward? Like you put over on the Monday Locker Room about that.
EC3 cut some new promo. I'm not sure if it was for AEW to act like he's going there or whatever it is. A good promo. I guess people were putting it over. I only watched like the first 10 seconds. And I got a call. So check that out, and we'll see who shows up at Slammiversary. I know Good Brothers, obviously, EY. Maybe ODB could be cool. Bennett's as well. That'd be fine for them. Do
you think they're even going to survive this?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I mean, they're probably not having to run a ton because they're just doing their normal tapings, empty arena style. So they're probably not having to spend a lot based on what I've seen budget wise of who they've got on shows to bring in. We'll see. Our final story is more details on Velveteen's Dream recent car accident. The Velveteen Dream was recently involved in a car accident. A new report from Wrestle Stink has revealed further details on the situation. The accident took place this past Friday, and thankfully the Velveteen Dream was released on the same day, released from the hospital, I believe, showing that the injuries weren't too severe. WrestleLink reported the accident happened around 4 p.m. and Dream reportedly failed to stop at a red light, which led him to hitting another car. The other driver also sustained injuries, and severity are not known at this time. Dream was handed a citation, but he will not have to appear in court over the matter. Velveteen Dream hasn't appeared on the WWE TV several weeks after allegations of sexual misconduct surfaced, but WWE has yet to comment on this situation. Distracted driving could be, I don't know. Glad he didn't.
So he went right through the stoplight.
To the red light. Some people were trying to speculate, fluff it up of the drama of, it's a suicide attempt because he's afraid his career is over and it's all about to fall down on him and shit like that. But that's wild speculation. Like, how do you really know? It could be anything from texting and driving to, just missing whatever, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
Florida and Georgia drivers are some of the worst in the nation. So, it could very well be. It's just one of those things. I mean,
oh, we actually have a question. Was the other driver a giant redheaded man with a beard on a forklift?
oh,
That could be.
we'll have to see if there's two little things in the side of the car like
Yeah,
that T-boned.
We'll see if it was or not. Because we could have another obviously homicide situation here. This guy will kill again. He's vowed to. With the spider.
Hey, if we have anything to do with these shows, man, he's coming back. He's coming back
with the spider.
He's just a bit player in the background.
Yeah, always. I'm gonna, and at least once a pay-per-view, there's gonna be a roll through in the background of a fucking redheaded guy on a forklift, no doubt about it. But Stevie, we made it through. More wrestling headlines than we needed to. Yeah, a lot, man. Appreciate you putting in all the work and what we got to do with Russo brand and the uploads you're doing there on his YouTube, all the micro content and clips. We also got Kaz working on that with us, and just making sure you guys have small bits to digest, whether it's during your coffee break or if you're listening to us in the background at home or if you're on the road. I will give a disclaimer. We have a lot of spit take drivers when they listen to Master Shoot Theater. So if you are a Patreon subscriber,
maybe that's what Velveteen Dream was doing.
He could have been. Maybe he was listening to Master Shoot and he fucking crashed her shoot. But yeah, man, so much going on as we head to 2 million downloads here in the next week to 10 days. It's just awesome momentum, and want to say thank you and for all you've done for the Locker Room brand, dude.
Oh, thank you. I mean, this is like I said, we take positive steps each and every week, if not each and every month, which is more than any business or any career could hope for. It's really amazing. Sometimes it's funny. I still get.
Wow. Hold on.
Like
sorry. I just got to break in. From one of my Chicago sources who is in Chicago media at one of the big papers. NBC breaking 28 minutes ago. Jeffrey Epstein, confidant, British socialite heiress Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested by the FBI, sources tell. That's from NBC New York.
Where was she?
Supposedly I saw a ship. She was spotted off the coast of New Zealand, a known Epstein's ship.
God.
But I don't know.
The world.
Yeah, I don't know if it was there.
She's been staying on international waters to try to avoid this. That's what it sounds like.
Here we go. There's Sale sent me the story.
Wow.
Let's see. So she was arrested in Bedford, New Hampshire around 8. That was like last week. I heard about that New Zealand story. New Hampshire around 8:30 a.m. on charges, and maybe she fucking put that story out there to throw him off the scent. 8:30 a.m. on charges that she conspired with Epstein to sexually abuse minors and expected to appear in federal court later today. Spokespeople for FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan declined to comment. The daughter of the media baron Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine, was a one-time girlfriend of Epstein and was the high-flying investor's side for decades, but she was also alleged to have helped Epstein groom teen girls for sex with the rich and powerful. One of those teen girls, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, leveled at the charge against Maxwell in a 2015 defamation suit, as have another of other women. Epstein is a registered sex offender who nevertheless kept company with presidents and captains of industry, was arrested last summer on federal charges, exploiting dozens of underage girls in New York and Florida in the early 2000s. He attempted suicide in custody late July and died after another suicide attempt in early August. Yeah, sure he did. Two of the guards tasked with monitoring Epstein now face federal charges for not properly supervising him before his death. So we look forward to them getting killed in a car accident or being throwing themselves off a bridge. One day before his suicide, federal appeals court released the transcript of the 2016 deposition, which Epstein repeatedly refused to say whether Maxwell had produced young girls for him. Maxwell has stayed below the radar since Epstein's death, as speculation swirled about whether she could face repercussions for her friend's alleged abuses.
Everybody's already predicting suicide for her in prison or somewhere in the next few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't doubt that's right. I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah. Court today. I wonder what they're going to do deposition-wise to try and get it to prevent that. Is this a deep state move as we move closer to what we talked about last night with Clinton and Obama, trials?
I wonder what's going to happen today is the distraction, or this weekend because of July 4th. That might be why they arrested her today, or she's going to court today, because the news cycle isn't going to pick it up.
Yeah.
It's towards the end of the week.
Yeah. Interesting. Hot breaking news here on your Friday locker room, whether it's wrestling news, car crashes, calling people's wives cunts, or, taking down pedophile rings. That's what we're here to cover, I guess, Stevie.
Yeah. What I was going to say was it's funny how it's still in my gut whenever I tell a truth about wrestling, as far as like, I just feel like sometimes when I say that, like, I know people appreciate the fact that we give them a little look back, and I'm not bragging because, I might be going to Impact. It's just weird when I do that. I still have a little bit of that old school error about kind of just keeping to myself. There's no good or bad about what I said, because I'll message you afterwards. Like, hey, did I say anything that was kind of fucked up, or I come off bitter or whatever? I know that's not what it is. I've never been happier. It's just, to me, like, we really have no time, legitimately have no time to play those types of games. And it still might not even work because we're so busy doing the stuff we're doing and controlling it. I don't want to go into a position where I'm in no control and they can make me look like a complete idiot on TV.
And that's the PTSD. That's the PTSD reaction of the politics of the old days too, kicking in.
That's exactly right. So, I mean, I don't regret telling the story. It's just like, I don't, and then some weird way when the people like Dreamer, D'Lo, and other people are institutionalized in that system of the bubble, may go, well, we were going to bring you in, but then we heard that podcast, and then they were like, no. So I ruined it. You know what I mean? That game they play, we were just about to do something with you, but then you did this and you fucked it up.
Well, what are you hoping to accomplish? For us to lament and go, because that's them and their own little thing. We're going, okay, dude, sorry, we saw the open door there. Maybe next time around, we're on to the next thing. Like, I got 16 other things to go on.
Legitimately won't think about them 5 minutes after
not that. And they're doing, got him. Like, we'll let him stew. Yeah, okay, dude, here's the stew. Just slurped it down. Now I'm on to the next one, bro. Like, you're either going to get on the train and be successful and do what we tell you, not because we're doing what we tell you. This is the model. This is how we operate. It's not like the old days and because of some woke Me Too movement. It's just we don't play those games anymore. We're not kids. We don't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. But you got time for the Friday locker room. That means you got time to do Stevie Richards Fitness, StevieRichardsFitness.com. You guys go over, subscribe to the YouTube channel as well so you can check out the new Rhodes microphone system setup. So we got here. He's doing more and more tech updates with software that we're testing out as well. What else you got going on this weekend? Anything, bud?
Well, I mean, there's a package that may arrive as early as tomorrow for you.
Oh, boy. Small package, large package, it looks like.
I'm and just so you know, it's a Roadcaster. I know Russo has been saying the Rhodescaster.
Yeah, it's Dusty Rhodes.
I know it's a wrestling thing. You can't get away from it. Other than that, I'm going to actually try to re-record the setup video with all this equipment. I'll go out there into the home gym. I'm hoping that I fix the echo issue because we have a very unique, we tested it out with Sal. Dude, everybody out there, if you think you've seen the coolest production for watch-alongs, you haven't seen anything yet. I'm not bragging. Close. I'm not. When we saw the way we could do it with Switcher Studio, we were like, holy God, just even the transitions of doing it were so super cool. And that's something I think we're going to actually bring it into the Horseman Live on Twitch. You're going to get, that's our test of seeing how we can produce the show. It's going to be, I was very excited when we were done. If we can get the audio echo issue fixed, it's ready to go.
Yeah, unlimited potential for creativity. I'm super excited about it, man. And you guys can check out all his tech videos over there at YouTube. Be a subscriber at Russo's brand, my channel as well, and Stevie's brand. It helps us out immensely as we keep trying to grow every month and push the line forward, everything we do. You can go over on July 4th, spend some of that worthless American dollars at ProWrestlingTees.com/Stevie Richards /Ben Hamin /Greek God Pavadon /SEG shirts, I think /Russo brand. New shirts coming hopefully too for Russo brand. We've been tasked at getting some new merch there, so send us some ideas if you guys are interested in something you would definitely want to buy or wear. You know, there's plenty of funny shit we could put out there, but sometimes that only makes a quick one-off shirt. I like to have something that people want to wear everywhere. And you can save using the code American or Americant maybe. Save 20% all weekend long, you guys. The Broasters coffee's flowing through me, so I got to make a run for the border here. But y'all, it's Big Stevie Cool. It's Hacker Hamin. It's your Friday locker room. Declassified Ultra Kayfabe edition at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman or here at hackerhamin.podbean.com. Blazing down 2 million downloads, infidels. YOLO!